everyone, it's Heidi Rajnauth Elliot here from Dynamic Real Estate. I wanted to talk to you on my first video about first time home buyers and their needs. So I'm going to give you 10 tips and you can start with number one and then go through the list consecutively. Yeah, that's my suggestion with you. Okay, so yeah, let's get started. Okay, so my first tip is to get pre-qualified for a mortgage. Unless you're doing a cash purchase, which most people would not be doing, getting pre-qualified really puts you at an advantage to be able to move faster on a property that you see that you like. If you have to then go and get pre-qualified, you could either find out that you're not pre-qualified to buy the property that you like, or by the time you've done the process, the property might be sold to somebody else. So I definitely suggest that you do this beforehand, and I suggest that you shop around for the best rates. Like anything else, different banks might give you different rates and different special deals. So you should look for who's going to offer you the best rates, and don't be afraid to try banks that you don't currently work with. All the banks are hungry for business and they're going to try to give you the best rates, no matter if you have current business with them or not. Okay, so tip number two, I recommend you have at least 15% cash saved of your total purchase price. 10% is usually the required deposit for any property sale. So you have to have at least that in cash. There are some institutions that will offer you 5% deposit only, but the majority is going to be 10%, and I think that's a little bit safer for most people in terms of the risk when it comes to mortgage. So I recommend you have at least 10% deposit, and then the extra 5% would be for your closing costs. That is like your lawyer's fees, stamp duties, which is the government tax on sale properties. So number three is know the laws and what the government is offering you. So for first-time buyers, you're actually at a really good place to buy in 2019 because we just started getting, for first-time buyers, you are exempt from paying stamp duty on the first 1.5 million of your purchase price. So if you're buying a property that's 1.5 million or under, great news for you, you don't pay any stamp duty at all. If you're buying something that's higher price than that, you still don't pay on the first 1.5 million. So no matter what you're saving, $20,000 or more on your closing costs. So your 15% may actually need to be a little bit less, but conservatively save 15%. Okay, so tip number four is don't do all of your research online or watching TV like HGTV and think that you're an expert in the local market. It's very different. Trinidad real estate is not really what you're going to find when you look online. Okay, tip number five, I recommend that you recruit your own agent. So yes, you can just look up whatever listings you find online and call every single agent that you see and make viewings for yourself and then tell them a little bit about your story, and if you like one of those things, then negotiate with them. But a buyer agent can do all of these things on your behalf, and you just work with one person who can actually liaise with all other agents on your behalf. They can negotiate on your behalf, and because you would have formed a relationship with that person, they would be able to better negotiate, better look for you, because they know your needs. So, and it costs you nothing, by the way. The buyer agent still in Trinidad and Tobago is paid by the selling, whatever property is being sold, the selling agent would split their commission with the buyer agent. So you actually, this is a free service, so why not take advantage of it? I definitely recommend you get a buyer agent. Okay, so tip number six is that after you've spoken to that buyer agent, I recommend, and you've gotten a good idea of what the reality of the market is, and especially with your budget in mind, that you then make a list of must-haves and a list of nice-to-haves. So even though you may understand the realities of the market, it's still important that you know what is absolutely necessary for you. Just make sure they're realistic, but that's where your buyer agent will come into play. Okay, tip number 7. Your first home purchase is most likely not going to be your last home purchase. So try not to think of it as your forever home, because for different stages of life, there is probably going to be different properties and your needs are going to change over time. So I recommend that you not wait 4 or 5 years to get your foot in the door. Trinidad real estate market is really a difficult one for young professionals, especially to get into. So start where you can. If you can't afford a 3 bedroom house with a pool in the area that you really want right now, start where you can. If you can afford a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment right now, I would say it's better to at least get your foot in the door so that your money's not sitting in a bank account, depreciating its value over time, and your actual mortgage lending time, because usually the banks are only going to give you a mortgage until you're either 60 or 65. So you want to get in that market as quickly as possible. Okay, so number 8 is when you find the property that you really want to purchase, make sure that your deposit is going to be put into an escrow account. Okay, this is really important in case anything does go wrong in the sale, that the on the seller's side, like the title is not clear or anything else that could possibly go wrong does go wrong, you have a way of a recourse to get your deposit back. If you give your deposit directly into a seller's account, who knows what can happen. Okay, so number 9, if you are going to be doing a mortgage and not a cash purchase, I recommend that you use the lawyers that the bank is using for both the conveyance of your property as well as the mortgage part of it. You can get your own lawyers, but it will cost you a lot less to use the same lawyers that the bank is using. Last but not least, tip number 10 is to make sure to ask questions. You should have a team around you that you're comfortable with, be it your buyer's agent, your bank officer, your lawyer. You should be able to ask these people questions because this is a really huge transaction you're getting into. So make sure you understand everything, every document that's presented to you. Try to take your time and read through it and digest it. And yeah, ask questions. Okay, so that's all that I have for you today, and I will see you soon. Bye.